Let's not have this nonsense cross the water. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about a young lady in Australia who was locked up in the virus, quote unquote, quarantine camp when she didn't even have the virus. She tested negative, didn't have it, never has had it, but was locked up regardless. Now, there's a reason why this happened. It's a pretty long story. There's a full interview with her, and I'll link to that in the description box. But what I want to play is a short clip of that interview so you get the general gist of what's going on. And after we get done watching that, I'll come back. I'll talk about what was said there. Then I'll give you the rest of my 2 cents and my deep detail analysis. And then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
I just waited for someone to come and test me. No one came to test me. The next people who rocked up at my house were 2 other police officers. They blocked my driveway.
These are actually uniformed police officers, normal police officers.
Yeah. So then the police officers blocked my driveway. I walked out and I said, "What's going on? Are you guys testing me for COVID? What's happening?" They said, "No, you're getting taken away and you have no choice. You're going to Howard Springs. You either come with us now and we'll put you in the back of the divvy van, or you can have a choice to get a COVID cab." So of course I chose the COVID cab because they said, "Well, if we're to take you, we're going to hand you a $5,000 fine." So of course I didn't want that to happen. So I just said, "Look, I don't consent to this. I don't understand why I can't just self-isolate at home like a lot of other people are doing." And they just said, "We've just been told from higher up where to take you, and that's all that there is."
All right, so you saw that, you heard that. Now, this story is 100% crazy, really ridiculous, and it just shows how little rights they have in Australia when it comes to the virus and the lockdowns and mandates and this quarantine camp. Now, don't get it twisted. This is a form of detention, like a penitentiary or a jail. That's what it is. If you go to this camp involuntarily, you can't leave. You have fences and people that are, securing the place. You're in jail. It's like the equivalent of a work camp in the U.S., but they're not working there, at least yet. But that's a different story. Maybe I'll get to that a little bit later. But let's back up a little bit. How did this happen? How did this young lady wind up in a quarantine camp? Why was she there? Why couldn't she just stay at home and self-isolate like others have done? I'll explain. Now, her coworker had come down with the bug, right? So I guess there was some kind of contact tracing program they were doing in this area, which lives in Australia. And they saw her on, I guess, surveillance, and they captured her license plate to her vehicle. So I guess maybe she was at work with them, and after work or something, they recorded her license plate and they went to her house. They didn't call her and say, "Hey, you may have been exposed to the virus. Stay home for a minute or get yourself tested." Nope, they went straight to her crib. Now, you had 2 guys that showed up to her crib. They were private investigators, and they're asking her questions. And I think one of the questions was, "Have you had a test, like, recently?" And she said that she had, but she hadn't. So shortly after that, she admits that she lied and she did not have a test. And they were like, "All right, don't worry about it. It's all good. We'll send somebody to give you a test. We'll send somebody to your crib to give you a test. Just stay here. It's all right." But nobody actually came to deliver the test. What they did was they came to actually capture her. Okay. So there was no testing or nothing. You had 2 police officers in full uniform with their cars. They pull up to her crib and they block her in their driveway so she can't leave. Okay. So now she's being detained. So she went into the virus cab and they took her off. I think there's footage of that. Again, that'll be in the description box if you want to see it for yourself, as will the full interview. But anyway, she goes to the camp and she's locked up. She's locked up. They just dropped her off, put her in this little kind of like small apartment. The same kind of ones I've seen in China. Like, that's the same thing. I'm seeing a lot of parallels between China and Australia as far as their government, how they operate, and how they basically give their citizens no rights. It's like, look, you are a serf or a peasant. You're a subject of the crown. You're a subject of Xi Jinping. You do what we say, you have no rights. That's kind of what it is over there. Not quite that way over here because we still have guns in America. Thank God for that. They don't really have that in Australia, unfortunately. They gave them up in the 90s, so now they pretty much get told what to do, and that's it. But anyway, so now she's in this virus penitentiary, and she can't leave the front steps without a mask, and she can't really go wherever she wants to go. There's lines that say, okay, you can't go over to this deck by the fence because you're going to get a fine. You can't go over there. And I think not only will it be a fine if you did certain things, like if you went beyond your deck, beyond your little stairs, you could also get a longer period of time in this particular camp. Now, here's a $1 million question some of you guys may have. Hey, ABL, she did not have the virus. Did they give her a test? No, they didn't. I think they may have given her a test or maybe they didn't. I'm not really sure. But regardless of what, she did not have the virus. So there was no positive test that says that you must go to this particular place. And even if she did, why couldn't she stay at home? Well, after she got out of this virus penitentiary, she called the CDC out there in Australia, and she was asking, hey, why was I locked up? I did not have the virus. And even if I did, others have been able to stay home and just self-isolate. Why did I have to go to this camp? And the person said, well, you may have been sent to that camp because you lied to the authorities, to the investigator guys, when they asked you if you had a virus test or not. You see what I'm saying? It was punitive. So you're being locked up. I mean, is there any kind of jury, any kind of charges or nothing like that? You just get locked up. I mean, even if you get caught red-handed, you still got to go to trial, right? That boy or 18-year-old shot up the school, but he's still having right to, to be granted bond, to be given a trial, all this and that and the third. You just get sent to this baby gulag for lying with no trial or nothing like that. It's crazy. And stuff like this makes no sense. Why get sent to a camp where there may be a lot of sick people in one place if the objective is to not have contact with those who may have it to prevent spread? You see what I'm saying? It's the dumbest thing in the world. It makes no sense at all. I think maybe there's some kind of financial incentive here to get these beds filled up. Because I think right where this happened, that was the only camp of its kind in Australia. Maybe at that time, or maybe even still right now. And like, she didn't come from very far away. She was right by this particular camp. So they're trying to probably fill up them beds like the private prison industry. A lot of these beds are being, a lot of these cells are being filled up unnecessarily because there's money involved. Now, a lot of these guys, don't get it twisted, need to be in the joint and need to be in the penitentiary. But if all you did was lie to some private investigators in plain clothes about whether you had a virus test or not, is that a jailable offense? I don't think so. Even if it was, can I get a trial or something? No, you're just going to put me in there? Okay, cool. Some said it was like a Club Med, Club Fed. She said it wasn't even like that because, first of all, you can't leave. It's a tiny little box. Nobody comes to see about you. You get your 1 meal a day and that's it. So I'm not sure how much of a Club Fed that it actually was. But either way it goes, if I have committed a crime, then give me a trial. Give me something. You can't just lock me up. But unfortunately, they can't do that in Australia as I close because they don't have guns anymore. Without guns, without the ability to protect yourself, to assert yourself, the state could do whatever they want. They could say, all right, check it out. You're going to go to this camp because you have the bug. And since we're kind of running low on resources and whatnot, I need you to go out there in that farm and tend to the crops. Pick some strawberries and all kind of fruits and vegetables and whatnot. Put them in this basket and you'll be able to eat a portion of it. And they'll tell you where the rest goes. The rest goes out to the general public that they sell for a profit. Now you become a sharecropper, locked up. And matter of fact, not even a sharecropper. You are a slave again. Okay? You didn't even commit a crime. That's kind of where they're going in places like China, Australia, and whatnot with these ridiculous virus mandates and regulations. So, and you know what? And I saw it coming. Right when they said mask mandate, I'm like, oh, see, you give them an inch, they'll take 96 million miles all the way to the sun. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How you feel about the young lady that got locked up just because she lied about having the test? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. How you feel about the idea of these gulags these detention centers for people that may have the bug. You might not even have it. People are suspected of having it. And then how about the punitive part of it? If you have the bug, why not just stay in your house and get better? I mean, I feel like that's fine. The recommendation should be stay home. It shouldn't even be a mandate on staying home. But the recommendation, hey man, just stay home, get better, take vitamin E, C, whatever. I'm not going to say what it is because I know I'm on YouTube. But whatever it is, whatever your doctor says, just do that at home. Why must I go to a detention facility? Is it about safety? Is it about trying to do what's best for Australians? Or is it about something a little bit more sinister? Is it about cash? Is it about kickbacks? Is it about trying to make this facility appear to be successful and not a colossal waste of taxpayer revenue? I don't know, but whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.